a lot of employees are doing grievances now through AI. So it's really kind of, for us as consultants, when we're doing those investigations, to try and actually unpick it all and actually find out what the real issues are, because they cite case law, which actually isn't case law. It's kind of the human approach. And I think that's what businesses need, and someone with experience.
This episode is supported by the Bishop Stortford community newsletter. There's so much happening in town, it's hard to keep up. New businesses opening, community events, local stories, and opportunities for all of us to get involved and make Bishop Stortford a great place to live. That's why we created a free weekly newsletter that brings together the best of Bishop Stortford in one place. There's no endless scrolling of hunting through Facebook groups, just the stories, events, and local updates that matter. If you'd like to stay connected to what's happening in Bishop Stortford, sign up using the link in the show notes. Okay, back to the episode. Welcome to the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast, the show where we shine a light on the incredible businesses, community leaders, and local legends shaping our town. I'm your host, James O'Donnell, and today we are joined by Natalie. Natalie, welcome to the show.
Hi, James. Thank you for having me on.
Natalie, for those of us who don't know you yet, who are you and what do you do here in Bishop Stortford?
So my name is Natalie Slade and my business is HR to Go Consultancy Ltd. So I'm an HR consultant. I support small businesses around Stortford, London, Essex, Hertfordshire. So that's what I do.
Were you working in HR before you became a consultant to businesses in HR?
Yes, I've been doing it since 2003. I started in HR, so I've been doing it quite a while. And then COVID obviously changed a lot of things. So I was traveling around for my previous job and I decided I didn't want to travel anymore. So I set up on my own and haven't looked back. So it's been brilliant.
Wow. It's a big step to move into being a consultant, to running your own business with that. But you seem very busy. You seem to, have lots of clients that you're working with. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, a lot of people that set up their business will know this. So you know your craft, you know what you're good at. It's all everything else that comes with running a business. So the marketing, so you need all those contacts, all those connections to make sure you've got the right people on board supporting you, accountants, etc. Someone to design your website, everything that you're not great at. So you need to outsource to the right people. So that's the biggest change, I think.
Yeah, good strategy there. And you said that you worked with small businesses in and around Hertfordshire and Essex. Is that your kind of primary area? Yeah,
so my background's in construction and manufacturing, but a lot of those organisations have in-house HR. So primarily I support small businesses that don't have HR functions, don't have in-house HR, because they're the ones that need the HR support. And then I do bigger investigations or 2P or restructures for large organisations where either their HR team don't have the skills or they don't have the time to do it. So that's my main core of business.
And what's happening at the moment in the world of HR that small businesses need to be aware of?
Well, there's lots changing. I don't know if you'll be aware of the Employment Rights Act that Labour brought in. So there's lots changing there. So probably one of the biggest changes that's going to be happening is in January is at the moment employers have the benefit of a 2-year unfair dismissal. So basically employees have to have 2 years service before they can claim unfair dismissal. From January 2027, that's changing to 6 months. So obviously a lot of companies, sometimes they have employees that haven't been performing and they've not managed them maybe as such. And therefore, if they're under 2 years service, they choose to dismiss without following a fair process. If you do that now or in January, then obviously that they could always claim unfair dismissal. So and it's also uncapped. They're changing to uncapped compensation. So there's quite a big change. So employers are going to need to tighten their probation and onboarding processes. So
I suppose with a lot of businesses or employers, they don't know what they don't know. So they kind of need to talk to you to understand how their actions might actually have an impact. Because as a small business owner, as you said, you're doing your thing. You don't, it's not your job to keep abreast of everything that's going on in HR, because you're also trying to do the thing with tax and you're trying to do the marketing, etc. So how do you kind of keep your clients aware of what's happening?
Well, I do. So again, that's where my marketing comes in. So I send updates to them. So my retained clients or clients that use me regularly, they get updates on any changes coming through. So I absolutely love employment law. I love employee relations. So I'm on it all the time. I like going on all the webinars, all the training events. So, and I will send any updates through. So again, there's like sexual harassment changes coming in October. So I send updates to clients on things like that. So that's how they get updated. And also, I'm just here to talk things through. So I know small business owners, sometimes they just want 5 minutes of your time, a bit of your time just for a quick query. And that's what, I've set up my business to do as well. So.
And are there any businesses that you've worked with that you just kind of can see how by working with a consultant rather than trying to do it on their own, it saved them money or it's avoided mistakes that they otherwise could have made?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's obviously some companies out there, especially if they're public facing, they can get support that way. So yeah, by getting someone like me involved, I can make sure they've got policies in place, make sure the contracts are right. So a lot of companies set up and then some grow quite quickly and they don't have the right contracts in place or policies. And usually it's only when something happens that they think, oh, actually, I need to look at that. So what I can go and do like a health check on their business and say, actually, this is what you need. Based on where you are now, this is what I would advise. And moving forward, I can kind of put short and medium term plans in place so they can follow those. So, and overall, I'm cheaper than an in-house HR because obviously there's no employee costs there. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. And at what point do you think it makes sense to reach out to you? Like because I speak to so many people that are starting up their own businesses that, is it before they employ their first member of staff? Is that that where
Yeah, I
you
mean,
would make most impact?
yeah, it varies. I mean, obviously, a lot of companies now are using AI to draft contracts, etc. But obviously, as you say, what you don't know, you don't know. So you can ask Claude or someone to draft you a contract, but it doesn't necessarily mean that what's in that contract is right. And once an employee signs, then obviously that's something the employer is beholden to. So where I come in is either where people are looking to employ their first person, or whether they've taken on what seems to happen is people take on people they've either worked with before, family members, and it's kind of been a casual arrangement, and then they've thought, oh, actually I want to do something a bit more professional. So I would definitely say if you're looking to employ someone, then get in touch with someone like me. By law, once you've had 5 or more employees, then obviously you need certain policies in place. So definitely at that point as well. So it's always good to talk things through with someone outside, I think, of your business.
Because of how quickly things change in so many different areas, just having someone that you can go to and talk to that knows exactly what the issues are. I know my wife, she's slightly different, she's a data protection lawyer, and businesses constantly ask her questions about things that they've asked ChatGPT or Claude, and their imaginary problems or imaginary things that they're being quoted back to that she's then having to talk to them about. And I suppose the same must be, in employment law, that they're going to hallucinate rulings or cases just to have the conversation with the person, and then they actually need to talk to someone like you who can actually cite real examples and real solutions to their problems.
Definitely. I mean, all it is out there is what people put into it at the moment. So that information that's going into AI isn't necessarily the right information. And you do find obviously a lot of employees are doing grievances now through AI. So it's really kind of for us as consultants, when we're doing those investigations, to try and actually unpick it all and actually find out what the real issues are, because they cite case law, which actually isn't case law. So it's just trying to have a look at all of that. It's kind of the human approach, and I think that's what businesses need. And someone with experience that has worked there for a number of years. So
definitely. Well, Natalie, this is fantastic hearing about you starting up a business from scratch and the fact that you're running and helping so many businesses out there. And from the businesses that I see in Bishop Stortford, there's going to be more and more that might be interested in reaching out and having a conversation. What's the best way for them to do that? Where do they need to go to start that chat?
Well, I'm on LinkedIn, so I post quite regularly on LinkedIn. I've got a website, so my website's online as well. And also, well, I think my number's out there on Facebook. I'm not very active on Instagram or anything like that. I don't, as I said, this is my first podcast, my first video, so I haven't done many things like that. But yeah, I'm always available for a chat if anyone wants to talk things through.
Fantastic. So what we'll do is we'll put a link up on the show notes to your website and your LinkedIn profile, because I'm connected with you on LinkedIn and you do put up useful updates. So if anybody wants to connect, they can do that. And then your website so they can reach out. That
Yeah.
sounds wonderful. Natalie, thanks for sharing that with me today. Are you ready for some Stortford Spotlight questions?
Yes, I have prepped. So yeah.
Good. This episode is being supported by one of my businesses, a brilliant local business called StortBox. If you've ever moved house, you'll know the pain of hunting for cardboard boxes, building them, taping them up, and then figuring out what to do with them afterwards. StortBox makes moving simpler with strong, reusable moving crates delivered straight to your door and collected when you're finished. Less stress, less waste, and a much easier move. It's a local business helping local people move smarter. So have a look at StortBox in the show notes below and see if it can make your next move a little bit easier. Okay, back to the episode. So these are 3 super fast questions that we ask every guest that comes onto the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast. First question. If you could put one sentence on a billboard in Jackson Square, what would it say and who needs to hear it the most?
Okay, so I thought about this. So I thought, life is for living, so live it to the full, and don't worry what other people think. I've got a daughter who's 12, so I think I would put that message out there for tweens and teenagers. I think people are too concerned about what they look like, and with social media and everything, I think it plays a big part. So I think you only get one life, you need to live it, and obviously don't worry what other people think. So I think that would be that one.
Be your own person. Go out and
Definitely.
there's enough space for all of us to
definitely. So
it's a big thing, especially in Bishop Stortford as well. So many schools, so many teens going through difficult times. It's a fantastic message. Thanks for that, Natalie.
Yeah.
Question 2: where do you go in Stortford that you secretly hope never gets too popular?
I found this one hard because I think probably most people know about it anyway. For me, it's the fields just past Grange Paddocks. So I think it's called Red, White, Blue Country Park. I think that's what it's called. So it's those ones along the railway line. It's almost like sometimes there's cows in there. It's just a lovely space, and I've got a dog, so the dog walkers in Bishop Stortford are just so friendly. You can just stop and have a chat. And I think when you work on your own, and obviously I speak to clients throughout the day, but it's so nice just to have those social interactions. So I think I know it's busy already, so it's probably not the right answer. But it's a lovely space, I think.
That's great. We haven't had a shout out for there before. Like, we've spoken to people about Castle Park and then Grange Paddocks, but then going further afield, we haven't. It's a great shout out though, Natalie. Thanks for that. Quick pause, because this episode is supported by StortAI. Most businesses know AI is probably going to help their business in one way or the other. The problem is they're so busy running their business, they don't know where to start. They don't know what questions to ask. That's where StortAI comes in. We sit down with businesses, look at how things actually work day to day, and identify simple ways to save time, reduce admin, and improve systems using AI and other automation tools. There's no jargon or complicated technology. It's just practical ideas to make life just a little bit easier as a business owner. If you're curious about what AI could do for your business, have a look at StortAI in the show notes. Okay, back to the episode. And last question, who's doing something special in town that more people need to know about?
Oh, I read it. So I've just recently posted on this today, but it's a lady called Mina. So she's from Grove Cottage, and she does a lot of fundraising for them. And I think Grove Cottage is a fantastic charity. It's a community charity in Bishop Stortford. They do a lot for people with learning disabilities. And I think Mina's great. I've seen her up the rugby club at Ladies' Day with a bucket with a load of drunk females around her and on stage, and she does so much for the charity, and I think she's really passionate about it. So it's not just a job to her. So yeah, I'd love to give a big shout out to Mina. She's great.
We love Mina. Mina has been on the podcast a couple of times. She's so passionate about what she does, and she's perfect for that role of getting the stories out and shaking the bucket for Grove Cottage. Always happy to give a shout out to Mina and the work that she's doing. I think everybody that has met her is enthused by her energy.
I know she's lovely. She's part of my Women group, so she's brilliant.
Fantastic. Thanks for that, Natalie. Again, what's your website so people can find you and get in contact with you, Natalie?
It's www.hrtogoconsultancy.co.uk.
Brilliant. That will be in the show notes. So please do reach out to Natalie if you're a Stortford business and you're thinking about growing, or you have grown and you need to talk to her. I'm sure she'll be able to support you. Natalie, that's a wrap. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast.
Oh, thank you, James. Thanks very much.
No problems. If you've enjoyed this episode, the best way to support the show is to hit follow, leave a quick review on YouTube, Apple or Spotify, and share it on your socials. Or maybe share it with someone in town who runs a business but is not on social media, but you think should hear from Natalie and have a conversation with her. Drop this episode through to them. And if you've got a local legend, someone like Mina, who's investing in the community, that's making the community a better place, that you think we should feature next on the podcast, drop their name in the comments below and I can reach out to them and invite them on the podcast. Again, Natalie, thank you so much for joining us today on the Bishop Stortford Community Podcast.
Thanks, James.
Thank you.